Hi, this is Craig Stocks, and this is my photo critique of the day. Thank you for joining me for this few minutes to enjoy some photos that have been provided by other members of the group here on Facebook. Today's image was provided by Wilson Wood. So Wilson, thank you so much for sharing your image with us. It's a wonderful image showing a couple of ducks swimming along. I believe these are both mallards. I think they're males, but I'm not a duck expert. But captures a wonderful moment with the two ducks swimming along. I like the fact that they're swimming at an angle, so the angled lines always give us a more dynamic feel in an image than horizontal or vertical lines, which tend to give more feeling of stability. I really like the colors here too. We've got these iridescent green heads and yellow beaks, which provide a real nice contrast, particularly against the blue of the water in the sky being reflected here. Really captures a great moment also with the swirls in the water. It looks like the water was relatively calm based on the smoothness of the reflection here in the foreground, and that really allowed these swirls to swirl around and kind of frame the ducks and kind of lead our eye right around the most important part of the image, which is the head of the duck. Also very good focus, particularly right here on the eye of the lead duck. So a good job capturing focus and capturing this moment. A couple things that I would consider that possibly could improve either this image or other images like it. The first thing I look at is the overall brightness and contrast, and particularly contrast areas. And in this case, some of the brightest areas are the ring here on the duck's neck is almost pure white. There's still some detail there, but in a print it would probably print pure white in many of the areas. And then also the tail of the second duck in the background, even though it's out of focus, is one of the brighter areas in the image. And likewise the back half of the lead duck is a little bit brighter. And then comparing the two heads, the head and beak of the duck in the background is not as iridescent and bright as the one in the foreground. So a little bit of just overall burning and dodging in Lightroom or doing local adjustments in Lightroom or Photoshop could help direct the focus more to the heads and maybe even lighten up the blue here so we get a better sense of the reflection. I did prepare a comparison just by doing a few changes, pulling down the brights in these white areas, darkening the backs of the ducks, and then lightening the heads a little bit, and also lightening the reflection here. And if you compare the before and after, I feel like it does a better job of directing the attention more towards the heads of the duck and less towards the tail end of the ducks. The other thing that you might consider is how the image is cropped, and I don't know if this is full frame or if you cropped it to achieve this. It's a pretty tight crop, which isn't good or bad, it's just a tight crop. But by cropping tight, it gives a little bit of a sense that the ducks are flowing out of the frame rather than into the frame. That particularly the duck in the background, compared to all of the space behind them, he doesn't have much room to continue swimming. So you get the feeling that he's going to bump into the side of the frame. So if you have more room on the original image, a looser crop that gives him a little bit more room to swim into the frame, and maybe even including all of the tail feathers here so that we have a complete thought here, and the foot that's leading out of the frame over here, might give it a little bit more of a sense of calm, possibly even including the entire reflection of this lead duck's head at the bottom, although that may start to make the bottom a little bit too large or too heavy. If you print the image, I think one thing you'll find is the larger you make the print, the more breathing space you need around the subject. The tight crops that work real well in a small image or on the screen might feel too cropped and too tight when you make a large print and hang it on the wall. Keeping with the tighter crop, though, another thing we could consider is making the crop even tighter. We do have a lot of contrast and stuff going on at the back of the duck and this orange foot leading out of the frame that doesn't really add to the subject. And then we also have this bright reflection right here at the edge of the frame that again is pulling our attention out. So if we try a little bit tighter crop, we can crop up on the bottom to just crop out that white area, so that now we have a dark area around the frame, and then bring our crop in from the side here. And that accomplishes two things. That gets rid of the orange foot over here that was leading us out of the frame, and also by cropping out more of what's going on behind the ducks, that gives us more room for the ducks to feel like they're swimming into the image. And in fact, you could play with that, and you could possibly even go a little bit tighter, and it becomes a very tight image, but it gives you more of a sense that the ducks are swimming into the image rather than out of the image. So just as a comparison, we'll go back. This was the original that Wilson submitted. Wonderful image all by itself. Love the colors, love the moment that it captures with the water swirling around the ducks. And Wilson, thanks again for sharing your image with us. I really appreciate it. If anybody else wants to participate, feel free to send me an image, and I'll be happy to review it here for the Facebook group. But I think critiques and reviews like this are a wonderful way for people to learn, whether it's their image or someone else's image. All you have to do is approach it with an open mind. You may agree with me, you may disagree with me, you may spot some things that I didn't spot. Feel free to share those thoughts in the comments. And as always, everybody, have a great day.